served our country for years and in the Vietnam War. Let me just read a little bit about him to all of you before he comes up and says a few words to you. The Brigadier General George Price was born on August 28, 1929, graduated from South Carolina State College and commissioned as an infantry second lieutenant. His military career spanned 27 years of dedicated service. He completed Army Command and General Staff College and earned a master's degree from Shippensburg State College in 1971. His decorations include the Legion of Merit, the Bronze Star, Meritorious Service Medal, Army Commendation Medal, and the Purple Heart. General Price has worked in the telecommunications industry, technical engineering services, and consulting services. And he lives nearby in Columbia, Maryland. So without any further ado, I'd like to give the floor to General Price. Thanks for joining us.
It goes without saying that I'm being chaperoned. I'm happy to announce I'm being accompanied by my wife, who is a school teacher. So, like you, I'm on a graded test. So I goof anything up, cover me. I need the help. And our condolences to the family who lost the support of this project. The best way to remember him is to keep it going with full participation, and I'm sure this family would appreciate that. I'm honored, more than words could ever say, to be a part of this ceremony. I'm here representing the Vietnam Veterans Memorial Fund that I've participated in for 32 years. It is one of the most gratifying experiences I've ever had. And as historians, that's an element in our country's history that you may wish to focus on, because it's been left out. And I believe it's the third most critical period in our country's history. The first being the Revolutionary War, the second being the Civil War, and the third being the Vietnam era. I use the term Vietnam era to plant a seed in your mind so that you would know that that's an era that many people to this day think is best forgotten. And they think it's best forgotten because of some of the decisions they made as to whether to serve or whether not to serve. The war was one element of the Vietnam era. And what you as historians have to look at is the big picture. I call history turning a mirror back on wherever it is you've been to see what it looked like, describe it accurately, and then identify and make whatever comments you want to make on that period. But the key point is you must have integrity to be a historian, you must have incisiveness as to what the issues are, you must report them accurately, and then identify your comments in a fashion that there's no question where you are talking about history and not trying to rearrange history. And that's what it is with the Vietnam era. You hear people talking about the war, but you seldom hear them talking about the achievements during that era. What did the country do? What did America come to realization that it needed to do to make it a better nation so that we could realize our full potential? You had the Voting Rights Act passed. You had all kinds of positive things achieved. We had AOL and FedEx founded, just to name a couple of things in passing. And our country was in disarray, but we had to decide what it is we're going to be. What is America? What is America going to do from now on? How are we going to live with each other? How are we going to change those social dynamics that make us the greatest country we can be? All of that took place during the Vietnam era. The war was one small part of it. And I submit to you that the American armed forces have never lost a war. And the thing you must understand as historians, when you pledge and take the oath of office, at whatever level you serve in the military, you are making a contract with the American people. We are saying we will abide by the laws and follow the orders of those appointed over us. And it's that carries us through thick or thin. Whether we agree or disagree, we have a contract with the American people. And one of the greatest things about our country is if you don't like that contract, you can rearrange it in the ballot box. You can change it. You can change without having chaos like we have in the world right now. That's what makes you unique and makes you different. So historically, we have never ever failed to abide by that rule. Now, if you don't like what happened in Vietnam, that was a political decision. That was a decision made by the civilian control of the military. We would have done a lot of things differently during that period had it been left to us. But we abided by those rules and with our oath of office to follow the laws of the land. And that's what I'd like you to understand. Look at that period and be sure that it's something that you're interested in because it's your time. You can learn a lot from that area. You can bring focus on it. It's your era to have because it's free. It's low-hanging fruit. Because many people now still have not come to grips with the decisions they made during that period. Now, another point. A great American, Jan Scruggs. How many of y'all have ever heard of Jan Scruggs? Show of hands. Jan Scruggs is the founder of the Vietnam Veterans Memorial Fund. But more importantly, Jan Scruggs saw his country in disarray. And he decided we needed something as a symbol to pull us together, to make us come back and come to the realization that we needed a place where we could go and reconcile our feelings and our actions. And it ain't nobody's business what I did with mine. And he dreamed of having a memorial on the nation's mall dedicated to those who served in Vietnam in the Vietnam era. Now you're talking 10.5 million people that served during that era. 2.5 to 3.5 million served in Southeast Asia. That's a lot of folks. And most of them who served in Asia went underground when they got back because the country didn't apparently appreciate it. But he had a vision and persisted using his own money for starters and persisted until we now have the most visited memorial in the nation's capital. That's there for you, to awaken you to what it's like when you look at those 58,000 names on that wall and realize that was one day somebody like you. They had aspirations, they had dreams, they had desires. So as a historian, you can do the country a great service by studying. They have a little project called Hometown Heroes that you can start out as a project. I'm not putting a hit on you, as we say. What I'm trying to say is there's a period that's waiting to be awakened in the minds and bodies of all of you. And I think the young people are going to grab this ball and run with it. We old folks are getting tired. I like the terms you all use this, let's go get your uniform and the coaches are over here. I'm an old jock. My mind can write a lot of checks that my body can't cash. So when I said coach and you run from here to there, I'm going to wave you goodbye. Go ball, go for it, man. Go ahead, you can do it. And so, and to the young people, let me get one other point. I cannot compliment you too highly for participating in this program. You're not going to get a lot of PR. That's just not the way we do things nowadays. If it bleeds, it leads. And you got no business going out doing something crazy just to get the paper. The fact of the matter is, the substance of what this country is all about is where you're sitting here right now. And to the coaches and the parents and the supporters, that's what it's all about. I'm from a small town called Laurel, Mississippi. And I know my teachers would be just as proud as they could be to see me taking a Friday night to come out and talk to you all. And you, as Louis Armstrong said, and you know more than I'll ever learn. But by the same token, it's a wonderful world, and I'm glad to be a part of it. Back to the Vietnam veterans. We have that symbol to awaken you to the lessons to be learned from that era. A project we're trying to develop right now is an education center. That center is to sort of develop a thirst for learning when you go there. We have 120-some-odd thousand artifacts that are there, left at the wall by people in memory of those who served. It's important that these things be realized and viewed by you. It's your grandparents and to some degree your parents' era. But by the same token, it is drastically ignored in our country, and that's sad. So I offer you that as a challenge to sort of look into as you study your history and move forward. to be sure that you take advantage of that opportunity. The Education Center is yours. It's a bridge from then to now. And the idea is to give you something to remember and a starter set that you can use to go out and find out what transpired that period. Draw your own conclusions. Draw your own, but based upon good, solid facts. And it's an education center designed to have you go back to your hometowns with an awakening spirit of study, to study the history of the Vietnam era. I submit that to you as a great project to have. Now, I also have an abiding interest because I don't think I've ever, everybody talks about America, and the Americans are doing this and the Americans doing that, and what's an American? Anybody, you don't know what's an American? So I challenge you to figure out what is an American. Tell us who we are. Let us find out who we are. You tell us. Look at the facts. Look at what it takes. How do you become an American? What do you have to do to be a good American? But what is an American? And look at it that way so we can build a little of that pride. So you can roll your shoulders back and hold your head up and say, I'm an American. I don't need no hyphen to be a good American. I know who my grandparents and parents were, but who is an American? So let's look at that and find out and discover all the things we can do. I can tell you, I have great confidence in you all. I'm just delighted to be a part of your program tonight. My wife and I were delighted. It's Friday night, and I can't think of any place I'd rather be than here with you. But I can tell you the challenges you're going to face. The first team is here. All of you first teamers, you come climbing this ladder, man, we're in a big game now. I heard some guys say, well, Boston lost tonight. That's baseball. They got 180 games. You got to worry about that. You were in the big deal. You were in the big deal. You're the ones going to come out with the trophy. I have to go home, and let me tell you, I played football in Laurel, Mississippi. When you lost, there was no explanation. They said, we trained you to be a winner. You don't come home looking for no meal and you lost. Something wrong with that picture. So, just give us your best shot. And that's the key. Always do your best. Be objective. Be open-minded. Study the facts. Manage the technology. Go for the goals that you set for yourself. Be intense in your pursuit of truth. Develop your own attitudes toward life, but be sure it's within certain parameters that got us here. Figure out what our country is and how you can make it better. And when you ever get kind of tired and bored, I want you to think about all that great generation. What they call it, the greatest generation? Well, let me give you one advantage you're going to have over that greatest generation. All that noise is being made. All these young men and women who were deployed and killed and died at Omaha and Guam and Iwo Jima, the Bataan Death March and all that other good stuff. It's tragic. The POW camps. And one other thing is you look at Vietnam and look at them. They didn't have the right to vote. They did all that, couldn't vote. Couldn't change anything in their life that they wanted to. Think about that as a contribution. Think about that as standing up to the plate. So when you see these Memorial Days and these holidays and that, look back at your history and see if you can figure out, how can I make this a little bit better? How can I do one thing to make this an improvement? Arouse somebody's country. Let's don't start thinking of Memorial Day and Veterans Day as another picnic day, another day to go to the beach. Let's think of it where in our community we can add some substance to it. If there's no place other than your own school. I can tell you right now, without fear of contradiction, if I had to do all over again and someone asked me to serve in the military, I would do it in a heartbeat. That was my aspiration. All I ever asked to do was to be able to serve my country at whatever level and whatever rank the system permitted. I have 3 sons and a brother-in-law and a son-in-law. We have 90 years of military service in our family. We made our contribution to the country. We're proud of that. And the country has delivered to us opportunities that we heretofore would have never thought possible. I'm delighted to share this time with you. I hope you can feel that you've learned a little something when you leave here. I hope you've got a new friend from a different part of the country, somebody who doesn't look like you, who might be from a different background, and when you are going to talk about what's in America, I submit to you that your answers will surprise even you. So thank you for letting me share this opportunity with you to open your ceremony. And all I can say is, if it's going to be, it's up to you and me. Thank you very much.